Hey guys, it's Spacey Sins, and we are back with more Variable Barricade. Just continuing all of our after-ending things. So we did Taiga last time, we'll do Ichiya this time, and then in the next part we'll do Kasuga / Tsubame and do the full unlock thing. So Ichiya's after story. Yes, trip down memory lane. Got to tell you, I am sweating, and I am extremely not feeling great right now. Anyway. If I loved them, they would love me back. It was a childish way of thinking, but it was all I knew. Is it any wonder I failed time and again? I only understood what it truly meant. To love and be loved in return after I met you. Sweating because it's Halloween as I'm recording this, by the way, and I'm wearing a fucking fleecy onesie, and it's like 73 degrees in my house, which should be not hot, and yet I'm like upstairs like dripping fucking sweat right now. But it's like I'm recording this like quickly before I'm like, I have to do something today. I can't not. I'm really fucking behind, okay? This is like really fucking behind because I didn't record for 2 weeks. So I'm like, well, I'll get something done before we get trick-or-treaters or anything like that. But I'm like, I'm not taking my onesie off to then try to throw it on just in case. So it's still early, like nobody should be coming, but I'm like, I'm so fucking hot. So fucking hot. Oh dear God. Anyway, it's fucking like almost November right now. It should not be this fucking hot. 73 is not hot, but I swear to God, I'm like going through early menopause or some shit, because like how fucking hot I've been lately. Like I'm just fucking sweating to death. Like I went down, I brought laundry and some stuff upstairs, and then I went downstairs and was like, logged off my computer at work, came back upstairs, and I'm dying. Like, I don't know what that said. Like, okay. I don't know. Anyway. Will you marry me? That was everybody. Will you marry me? Oh my God. Anyway. I meant every word I Oh, that was just supposed to be just Ichi. I'm sorry. Will you marry me? There you go. I meant every word I said that day with every fiber of my being. But now, I could say those very same words again, but with so much more feeling behind them. Spacey, I love you. Thanks, Ichi, I love you too. So fucking awkward. How many years has it been? Still awkward. Anyway. Oh. Boop, boop. Oh, I do love Ichi. Such a drama queen. Morning, Ichi. Good morning, Spacey. I'll get breakfast for you in just a moment. Would you wait in the dining room for me? You're gonna eat with me, right? Let me at least put on a pot of coffee for you. You'd do that for me? Of course. It's my day off, after all. This is the least I can do. Really? Well then, thanks. That would be great. He's like, you would do that for me? Let's eat! This coffee is delicious. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a more delicious cup. Oh my God, still Ichiya. All I did was press the buttons on the coffee maker. The coffee you make is far better than anything I can do. And just the fact that you made it for me makes it the best coffee in the entire world. Oh, stop it. You made these again. The pickled radishes. It seems like you enjoyed them, and I've gotten enough practice cutting them into rose shapes. Even now, when I think back on the day you first tried them, my face feels like it's going to catch on fire. I was just so desperate to show off what I was good at. It didn't help that the only advantage I had was my cooking. Oh well, you know that I got too far ahead of myself and screwed everything up. Back then, the only thing I knew to do was shove expressions of love onto people until they relented. I thought that as long as I kept up the compliments and acted romantically, girls would love me. I'd convinced myself that was all it took, so when it didn't work on you, it threw me for a loop. Oh, I remember. But you know what? I think I miss all that. Just a little. No. And can we please stop digging up my dark and embarrassing past first thing in the morning? Who started that one, Ichia? Right, that was you. Okay. Oh, I know. Why don't you flirt with me like you used to? What? Spacey, didn't you hear me just say... What's wrong with just a teensy bit? It's been so long. I want to hear it again just once. Please? For me? You can be so devilish sometimes. Okay. You know I can't refuse you. And just promise me you won't laugh, okay? Here we go. The glitter sound effect. Fucking sparkle. The worst part is when you're like, oh my god, did you hear the sparkle? Sparkle is a visual thing, but you can also hear a sparkle, because you know, if you didn't even catch the sound if it was too quiet, you know what its sound makes. You're like, yep. You heard it in your head, you know. And it's just really weird. Like a sparkle is something you see, not something you hear, and yet you can also hear a sparkle. Yeah, well, I mean, you typically think of it like, I see sparkly things. And you're like, can you hear sparkly things? Yes, actually I can, because that was sparkly. So weird. Anyway. Good morning, my angel. Your eyes are so clear and deep, I wish I could dive into them. And your lips, your lips. They're as red and luscious as strawberries. Pretty sure he used that exact fucking line on us. Would you mind if I stole a taste? No, that was so cringy. I can't believe I said stuff like that to you every day with a straight face. Spacey, your face is bright red. I'm just, how do I put it? I don't feel anything when I hear words like that from someone I don't think much about, but to have you flirt with me like that now? I mean, my heart might have skipped a beat, just once. Seriously? Huh. Maybe I really should do that every once in a while. No, that's alright. I already know you'll get carried away. Well, you were being a little cheeky, and this is my revenge. Everything he says comes out slightly like that, because like, you were being a little cheeky, that's my revenge, but it's just the way Ichia sounds that you're just like, even that was a little fucking cheesy. Like, anyone else saying it, like imagine Taiga saying that, you're like, you were getting a little cheeky, that's my revenge. Yeah, okay. Fucking Ichia says it and it comes off slightly cheesy. I don't... Anyway. Anyway, let's finish up and get ready to go. It's a perfect day for a date. Yes, let's. And let's travel down memory lane through all the CGs. The car's all warmed up. You ready? Of course! And look at how lovely it is today. So glad the weather cooperated. Me too. Well then, after you, my princess. Thank you. I mean, plus you get that. He's gonna call you his princess. It's a little cheesy, but I'm here for it. I was here for all of Ichia's cheese and dramatics. It was fucking amazing. He's hilarious. And since it's so nice out, why don't we go for a short drive first? Then we can have lunch and go to a movie. I don't think I've said this before, but you're an excellent driver. I always feel safe with you behind the wheel. Oh, that's quite the compliment coming from someone who's used to professional chauffeurs. It doesn't hurt my confidence either. Oh, yeah, open the glove box. I baked some cookies earlier and stashed them in there. Have a few if you want. Oh my god! You also brought fucking snacks with you. Fucking fresh baked cookies! Love this man. When did you even... You really put a lot of thought into this. Of course, it's a date with you. And there's also a thermos with tea in the cup holder. Look, if I can't date Kasuga, I'll settle for Ichia because, like, he's pretty good at this shit. Like, Shion's beautiful, but, like, Ichia's cheesy and dramatic and, like, makes me cookies. I don't know, I'm there for the cookies. Wow, you're thorough. Thank you. You've made these for me once before. Do you remember? It was when you made a lunchbox for me and brought it to school. Yeah. I caused quite a commotion with that one, huh? You must have been mortified. Look at how sad he looks in this. I was so stupidly desperate back then. I was totally panicked trying to find some way to make you look at me. make you happy with me. I was ecstatic when you said that you'd enjoyed what I'd made for you. But if I'm being honest, I think I was beginning to catch on at that point. You were saying what I wanted to hear, but something wasn't quite right about it. Gia... No, it's not your fault. I'm fully aware that I did it mostly for self-gratification than anything else. And besides, it gave me the chance to learn how to cook proper Japanese meals from Sumiko, so it wasn't a total disaster. I hear you still go and visit her occasionally for a lesson, and that she's a very strict teacher. Oh? Well, yeah. She's like a drill sergeant, that's for sure. I think it's gotten worse since our engagement. But I know she does it because she cares about you, so I'll keep giving it my all. I completely understand wanting to make something delicious for someone special, and to see them enjoy what I make. And I do. Oh, and I do! Look, I don't know why I can't read today. I know that everything you cook for me is made with love. And it was made with desperation before. Tastes similar. It's a little nicer now, but still it was made with, like, desperate for love before. Say, Icha? Oh, just hold that thought. The light's changing. We're not allowed to talk while he's moving? Sorry, what were you saying? Lean over a little. What? Give him a kiss? Wow, where did that come from? Not that I'm complaining about a kiss from you, but... Huh. Ichia, the light changed again. Oh, right. You always give so much to me, so I thought I'd give a little something back. Oh, okay. You really don't have to worry about it. That's what I should say, but I also liked it, so I'll just happily accept and stay quiet. And yet, that whole speech. I love Ichia. A kiss from you is the greatest reward I could get after all, and just like that one time. Oh, I'd intended for it to be an apology for what I'd done to hurt you, but I ended up getting the most out of it. I felt like I had to, what with Taiga and everyone egging me on, but I also wanted to show you I appreciated your gesture. It was so embarrassing. Like, really, truly embarrassing. I was incredibly nervous, too. Hey, I was ridiculously nervous too, you know. I tried to tell myself some silly little kiss on the cheek was no big deal, but... Oh boy. I didn't want to look like I couldn't keep it together, but the whole time my heart was racing a million miles an hour. And if I'm being honest, I don't really remember much of what happened afterward. And by the time I came to, I was in my room and felt oddly jittery. Oh, that was the drugs. What? Nothing. I knew it had you I knew it had shaken you, but I wasn't prepared for how much. I thought you were so used to girls giving you kisses on the cheek that it'd be like nothing. Oof. I know it's true, but that kind of drags some old skeletons out of the closet, I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that at all. No, it's okay. I know that my, storied history with romance caused you more than a little anxiety. And not only that, but, it's okay. I think I know what you're trying to say. Sorry, my timing with that was the worst. I don't mind. Sometimes things like that happen. I thought about going somewhere else, but the restaurant where we have lunch reservations is close by. It's fine, really. The sea breeze is nice. And besides, after all was said and done, it's not that bad a memory. I envy your strength, then. Every time I think back on it, my stomach twists into cold knots. Because you're a fucking drama queen. At that point, the thing I feared the most was you giving up on me. Unlike the other three guys, I always had the specter of past girlfriends looming over me. So when you said you wanted to get to know the real me, I panicked. I thought that if I was going to make a move, it had to be right then, that I'd lose you if I missed my chance. I read all the signals you were sending in the way I wanted, and then I did that. Ugh, I just want to crawl in a hole and die! That's such a fucking Ichiya thing to say. I want to crawl in a hole and die. Like, it's so fucking dramatic. I think it's like in every normal sentence, it's just, if it comes out of Ichiya's mouth, I read it in my mind, it's just so overly, just a little too dramatic, just a little smidge above normal dramatics, you know? Please don't. I mean, sure, the kiss was, well, it was what it was, but I slapped you over it. And you should have. I totally deserved that and more. I mean, that was your first kiss. You can't get that back, and I just... Yeah, but now we're engaged, so I think it's okay. You don't need to shout about it. It's embarrassing. And besides, like I said, it's in the past. It's over and done with, so please calm down. Sorry. It's just that thinking back on everything that happened, I can hardly stand myself. Your first kiss was one thing, but then I had to go and run away like a coward for days. That only hurt you more. Oh, dear God. Oh, go away, Norton. Jesus Christ. You just go away for right now. This giant fucking yellow pop-up. I know I shouldn't say this, but I really am such a pathetic excuse for a... Yes, I get it, okay? I knew every inch of your dark past when I chose you, and I don't regret it. Spacey. Apologize one more time and I'll stomp on your foot, heel first. The subject is closed. Got it? Yeah, that sounds like it would be painful. Alright, I won't bring it up again. Except, I'm just kidding. Good. By the way, I'm pretty hungry now. Me too. Let's say we put aside the sad reminiscing and get some lunch. Sounds like a plan. Would it be alright if we held hands? Yes, you don't have to ask me that anymore, you know. Oh, that's me. The lunch was delicious. Now that we've fortified ourselves, it's time for a movie. I can't wait. Yeah. Is it just me, or are you really excited about this all of a sudden? It's just you. Really? I guess if you say so. Speaking of... I got tickets for that remake like you asked. But are you sure that's what you want to see? I thought for sure you'd want to see that big fantasy movie you were excited about before. Yes, I'm sure. That's the one I'm in the mood for. You've probably heard, but did you know it's supposed to be a massive tearjerker? It doesn't really seem like a typical date movie. Don't you want me sad, so I need you to hold me and make me feel better? I'm just saying. Like, god damn it, Ichiya. Do you not know how this works? We're already engaged, but like still, sometimes you gotta play the game, right? I said that's the one I want to watch, so it's the one I want to watch! I need to see it! Need to? Why? Never you mind, but we should get going. If we don't hurry, we'll miss it. Okay. Ichiya's like, who the fuck is... Ichiya's dramatic, but we might be crazy. Like... You can put your drink in this holder. Oh, and here's a blanket. Thank you. Also, you don't have to sit that far away. I don't mind if you scoot a little closer. Right. Sorry, old habits. Would you like to have some of the blanket? No, I'm okay. But it would be nice if you could, slide a little closer. Oh. I was like, they're like, don't you dare! That's what it sounded like. Oh, this is a cute CG, though. He looks slightly distressed, like, oh god. You know what I mean? You see now, right? There's no way I can measure up to my younger brother. It's always been this way ever since we were children. Go on and forget about me. Marry my brother instead. It'll be better that way. Is that what you truly think? But what about how you feel? What about how I feel? That was fun, though. Is this how the movie went before? It's been so long since I've seen the original, I forgot. There's something about it that just resonates with me in an awkward way. Excellent! I'm glad I looked everything up beforehand. This is exactly the kind of movie I wanted. Those headlines that said this film made America cry were not overselling it. I'm sure this'll do the trick. I love you. I really do. I don't want to let anyone else have you.
but I can't save you. Ugh! Why am I so powerless? Why is it that, when it comes right down to it, I just can't?
You're not lacking in love, but determination. The willpower to stay with me and face any obstacle that gets in our way. All I want is to hear you say one thing. Why is it so difficult for you to say it? Sorry. I'm just having fun being extremely over-dramatic and just very bad with the freaking, like, hero and heroine in the movie. It's fun. Sometimes it's fun to do... Okay, we do bad voice acting, but, like, you know, I make an attempt. It's bad voice acting, but a good attempt. And I just like going sometimes where I'm like, it's complete and utter trash, and I'm doing it that way on purpose. Like, that's fun sometimes. Just being just awful and just rolling with it. It's already pretty intense, but the really emotional part's just getting started. Wow, this movie is seriously a tearjerker. Those reviews weren't kidding around. You think I'm tearing up? All he had to do was take her hand, and she'd have the excuse she needs to give in. Why couldn't he see that? Oh, we are actually crying. Spacey?
I can't bear the thought of ruining your future. If my presence will only destroy your happiness, then allow me to gracefully bow out. My life is worthless without you, and the world too harsh for me to go on.
This is basically like Ichia, like, exactly. I mean, that's why we went to see it, obviously. Be with my brother. Well, it's your older brother in this case, but, like, still same difference.
Farewell, my dearest. If someday we're reborn into our next lives, maybe then we can truly be together.
Oh, he didn't jump off a cliff, though. He shot himself.
No!
What? No! That's terrible! How could he? Spacey, are you okay? Why? Why isn't Ichia crying? Because Ichia's like, that's exactly what he did. Basically. Ew. I'm sorry. I thought something was up. You don't usually switch the movie you want to see at the last minute. I never would have guessed you did it to make me cry, though. And doesn't that, seem a little mean? But it was a good movie, right? It was a great watch. I got so into it that I cried. And that's all true. Sorry, I didn't cry, though. I already said I was sorry. I'm a fully grown adult, you know. I'm not gonna cry over every little thing. That one time was, well, it was an extenuating circumstance. Oh my god! Oh god! Okay. Yeah, no, see, like, I was like, oh, is this like kind of what happened with like Ichia jump off the cliff, take my younger brother? Like, what are we trying to do here? It just did not even dawn on me that we were like trying to make him cry because she gets off on him crying like with the rest of us do. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright, girl, Jesus. I was... Wow, she pulled a me on me. Like, again, like, Ichia, just see it, Ichia, you're like, I'm here for this, I like this, I never thought I'd be this person, and now she's turned into that person! Holy shit! Oh my god. Okay. Because he's gorgeous when he cries, like, Jesus. Besides, what man wants his lover to see him blubbering like a baby? Maybe the one that's kind of turned on by it when you cry? I don't know, I kind of like it sometimes. What? I guess, but it's just, how do I put it? That one time really affected me. So seeing you cry is a powerful memory for me in a way. It gets me all hot. Admittedly, you catching me in the middle of a breakdown was just the push I needed to change. You'd seen me at my lowest, and knowing that made me decide to stop trying to keep up appearances around you. At the time, I'd given up on pretty much everything. I was convinced you'd never feel anything for me, and if you didn't, then my life was practically over. I didn't care about anything anymore. If I'm honest, at first I was a little taken aback, but seeing you cry and let out what you really felt put everything out in the open. It was touching. Oh yeah. It sure did shock me when you patted my head then. I'd convinced myself that nobody would ever want it or need a weakling like me, but you stayed with me. I think that was the moment you became truly special to me. And that was the moment I discovered that sometimes watching a pretty man cry kind of turns me. This game has done all sorts of, you know what, I don't even, you know what, I can't make excuses anymore, okay? Like, we have just played so many Otome games that nothing is really surprising at this point. Like, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised when you're like, oh, I like it when he cries. Oh. They just did. I never expected that to come out of me. I didn't expect to love the himbo, you know, but yet these games keep doing shit to me where I'm like, where did this come from? You know? Over here, like, my brother, I don't care, that's fine. So that's not my problem. What up, let's go. Packing my bags and moving, getting some banjos. Like, I'm just saying, you know, I just never expected that we would be here in this place with these kind of, like, thoughts. Just never, no. Look, you learn something new about yourself every fucking game you play, I guess. I'm not saying I'm going to turn into, like, somebody who, like, purposely makes people cry or wants my love interest to cry, but I'm just saying, when Ichiya did it, I liked it, so, okay if he does it some more. You know what? If I look at it like that, it's not actually that bad of a memory. See? But I'm still not going to cry in front of you anymore. I just don't want to. It's too uncool. What happens if I told you I ran over your puppy? You better cry in front of me. Don't make me do crazy shit. Don't be shy on my account. I'm not being shy. Kidding. Anyway, I wanted to ask something about the movie. Did you know what it was about before we saw it? I read a few summaries online, so yes. A few reviews said that it made everyone in America cry. I see. You know, I have to say, enough of it reminded me of my own life that I felt a little conflicted while watching it. You mean with you and Kazuya? I mean, that's exactly what I felt when we were going through that. Yeah. In the movie, it was the younger brother and not the older, but their lives and the older brother's issues, it was all really close to my own. And the fact that Kazuya and I are twins only makes comparisons more inevitable after all. My whole life I wondered why I couldn't do things like Kazuya, why what I did never worked out the same way. And now I look back and see that it was a bunch of misunderstandings and unfortunate happenstance, but at the time it felt like my parents didn't get me. And that's why I was so desperate to find a place where I belonged. A place where people would want me, not my brother. I think I understand that. It hurts to feel like you're completely alone. I've also had times where I cried myself to sleep, wishing for someone to see me as special over everyone else. And yet, here's the funny part. Okay, in each one of our routes that you could say our love interest finds us special over everyone else, but the entire time, your entire life, you've always had Kasuga, who's always thought you were special over everyone else. I'm just saying, you've always had that, and it's kind of weird to read that line now and, like, be like, but you always had that, and you just didn't fucking realize it. Shit. It's creepy and weird, but hey. Yeah, but the difference is I let myself drown in my inadequacies. I so wanted to find someone who'd be nice to me that I flattered everyone. I only focused on superficial behaviors that I thought would bring me love. Looking back, I'm sure there were other better ways to go about it, but at the time it was the only thing I could think to do. And I can't help but wonder how different things might have been if I'd met you sooner. Oh? Well, I can say with certainty that if we met sooner, I wouldn't have wanted anything to do with you. I had no interest in getting to know some frivolous guy who surrounded himself with a gaggle of girls. Ouch, when you put it that way. In fact, that's how I viewed you when we first met. Couldn't you tell? And now we've grown close, and it's all thanks to that dark past you're so ashamed of. At least that's what I think. Even though it was only being stupid and pathetic, How could that not disappoint you? Sure, you've done some foolish things, but you were hurt and frightened, and yet you were still kind to others. That's amazing. Instead of hating everyone because of what happened, you chose to be kind and let yourself get hurt instead. I can't turn my back on a person like that, especially because I feel like if I say these nice things, you might get a little weepy. I'm like in the mood. It's all sinister now. Spacey, I'm sure grandfather saw that in you and approved. You think? It'd be nice if that were true. I had zero faith in myself when I first met your grandfather. I felt like nothing I did ever worked out, and I was cynical and desperate, but I was still being a total jerk. Oh god, this is the whole, like, Ichiya being drugged and, like, assaulted. And the only thing I could think while everything else was happening was, it wasn't supposed to be like this. I thought it would turn out better. I told myself this was the one area I had more experience than Kazuya, so it had to go well. But it didn't. I absolutely thought I was just doomed forever to be inferior to my brother in all ways. I bet he doesn't cry like you. I'm sorry. I'm not, though. No, I didn't mean for that to come out in this scene, like, with poor Ichiya in this situation, but I just mean, I was just reading the whole, like, I'm inferior to my brother, yeah, but I bet you cry nicer. And, like, oh, good God. He can't cook either, so, I mean, there's that. All that misery and self-pity I'd been feeling drained away, and I felt empty. Any motivation I'd possessed to try and outshine Kazuya, to make people respect me for me, all just faded away. It was like I had nothing left inside. Thinking about those days makes me want to run somewhere far, far away. Do you still think back on all that, even now that we're engaged? Like, look at sad Ichiya. Sad Ichiya is so beautiful. No, not if I can help it. I'm extremely happy with our life together now. Sometimes I get scared of how amazing things are now, but then I remind myself of what it was like. I don't really think those reminders are necessary. We're going to be together forever, after all. You can believe that. Yeah, I do. Sorry, I didn't mean to be such a downer. Anyway, it's almost time for our dinner reservation. Shall we go? Yes. Ah, this is so good. Yeah, the vinegar in this is just the perfect amount. Now if I could figure out the herb blend they used, I could recreate it at home. Really? That's amazing. I look forward to trying it then. Of course. The sight of you enjoying the food I make is all the motivation I need. I'm very proud of my most excellent home chef. Oh, right, I just remembered. Have you ever cooked for your family, Ichiya? What do they think of your food? Where'd this come from all of a sudden? That time when Kazuya visited, I told him he should stay for dinner next time. It hasn't happened yet, but still. You seem very interested in your cooking. So that's why. He's been sending me these weird whisk messages lately, and I had no idea what they were about. Like the snacks he's currently hooked on, or old dishes he really liked. Stuff like that. Oh, he's definitely trying to score some free food. What did you say back? I asked him if he was really that bored. Oh my god, that was so mean! Hey, that's not how I meant it. I just didn't know. True. Still, that's so cute. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that even Kazuya can be adorable. Ugh, did he have to be so vague about it? He could have just asked me to cook for him. He can get surprisingly shy about the oddest things. You wouldn't expect it from him, though. Haven't you two gotten into arguments because of it? I think it would annoy me. No. Even when he did annoy me, I never told him he was wrong. I always figured it was my fault for being too stupid to understand how he was right. I think that day was the first and only time I ever raised my voice at him. Oh yeah, this sexy-ass one. Frickin' angry Ichiya defending us, and like frickin' Kazuya being all sexy in his glasses and suit. Here for it. And since hindsight is 20/20, I can now see that his proposal was actually meant to test the two of us in a way. Actually, his proposal was one of the bad endings, but... But when I heard him say the word lover, all my feelings of inferiority and insecurity were blown away, and all this anger flooded in their place. Yeah, but you'd still get to be my lover. And we would have babies, and they would just pretend that they were his. I'm just saying, it's not a bad ending. In that moment, I knew with all my heart that I didn't want anyone else to have you, Spacey. I wanted to be the only one to make you happy. Okay, well, I mean, that's going to be really hard in the man harem, I'm just saying. It's okay, Ichia. Although we have several chefs. Just don't let Van Helsing in the kitchen! Okay? There are rules to the man harem, and that's one of them. He might kill us all. And though at the end of the day, I was still doing exactly what he wanted, and that does rub me the wrong way a bit. Well, more than a bit, but still. But I can't say that he wasn't a little bit, just a tiny, infinitesimal bit responsible for the way we are now. I guess. I feel conflicted about what happened too, believe me, but we probably should acknowledge that Kazuya played a small part in helping us move forward. Well, we're like, move forward a few steps, then stall out for a while. The next part wasn't so easy. You're telling me I got everyone's help in trying to make a case for why you should choose me, but it all kind of went in circles. Even as I laid everything on the line when I confessed my feelings, you cut me down with just one sentence. Oh, that. You know, I've had my share of shocking incidents in my life, but that has to be up there as one of the biggest. Not that I thought confessing my feelings would make everything magically better or anything. I'm not that naive. But what I said was messy. I put everything out in the open in the most inelegant way. I don't think I've ever confessed my feelings that awkwardly before, which tells me that they're true, because if you put them out there elegantly and beautifully, you know, that's usually how you speak. You're elegant and beautiful and full of fucking shit. So coming out of nowhere and being like inelegant and messy and clumsy, it's like, that's real. Just saying. I was convinced that if you didn't accept, I'd have no other recourse. So when you asked why it had to be you and no one else, it wasn't really a surprise, but more... how do I put it? You stunned me speechless, I guess. I felt so strongly for you, and the thought that I hadn't managed to convey any of it at all. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. And besides, even though I thought all hope was lost, it turns out it wasn't. Of course, I didn't realize that at the time. I was so sure my world had ended, like I had hit rock bottom, but then kept sinking deeper. Oh god, haven't we all felt that shit before? I was incredibly depressed too. I hadn't meant to hurt you at all. I simply didn't realize what I was feeling. The other three gave me the scolding of my life. It's funny, they're usually so oblivious, but they can really come together when it matters. Yeah, I know. I actually got an earful too. Well, it wasn't so much that as it was Kazuya just saying he was disappointed in me. What? Kazuya said that? Yeah, hilarious, right? I have no idea what I was thinking at the time, or if I was thinking straight at all. See, I went to Kazuya and took everything out on him, said it was all his fault that things had gone wrong. Really laid it into him. He shut me down, of course. Oh, I don't know what to say. It wasn't until later that I realized I really am the little brother. We're twins, so there isn't much of an age difference, but when it comes down to it, I'm the little brother, and I went straight to my big bro for support. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. Don't you dare tell him. I mean it. He'll totally get a big head over it. Anyway, that's what happened. It really did feel like I'd unearthed a new level of the lowest depths, but I couldn't give up on you. I already thought I was stuck with nowhere left to go when Kasuga came up and sunk a dagger in my heart. I'm pretty sure Kasuga was hoping to do that literally. He did that to me, too. Really, he just went for it. He didn't hold back in the least, because he's a psycho, but we love him. Yeah, but you know what? I'm grateful for it. I was finally able to put absolutely everything on the line because of what he did. The guys definitely had a ball teasing me about it. Yeesh. I was dead serious, and for some reason that was hilarious to them. Because you're so fucking dramatic. Believe me, I know. Look, I know what I did was laughable. It was not something a 26-year-old grown man should do. But I didn't care what anyone thought anymore. I had chucked my pride in the trash too. I just wanted you to love me. I mean, basically, I cried until you relented. Yeah, you really did cry me into submission. When you put it that way, I'm not really sure how to respond. Though I will say I was happy to finally hear the words I wanted you to say. Spacey. Yeah, I was too. I'd finally managed that last step. The one that took me to your side. I think in that moment all I was feeling was sheer ecstasy from having made it. Knowing that I'd finally earned the love of the person I longed for made the stress of everything just rush out. And that's why you started bawling? Hey, I was under a lot of pressure, you know? I was terrified that you might turn around any second and say you were just kidding, and if that happened, I wasn't sure how I was going to go on living. It's true, you certainly are a hopeless case without me around. Yes, I know. I admit it. I'll say it again. I just can't live without you. I'm sorry I'm such a clingy guy, but you're gonna have to get used to it. Yeah, and that's all you have to be is like, Ichiya, I don't want to be around you. And then he'll start crying and you'd be like, right now. Oh, Ichiya, I figured that out a long, long time ago. I should have known. But looking back on everything makes me realize that we are who we are because of all the help we got along the way. Yeah, I knew I had Kasuga, but for so long I thought I was all alone. It's kind of embarrassing how I thought that. The point was really driven home when I found out how much grandfather had done for me and cared for me, even though I hated him, and really for no good reason. Yeah, it feels like I've finally woken up from a long, bad dream. But not everything is sunshine and roses now. I'm still working through some things, especially with the Shinzakis. That's gonna take some time. Oh. Kazuya actually took me back home, to the Shinzaki home, for my first visit in a long time. What, really? You never told me that. Sorry, I knew you would have worried, and it kind of scared me how easily I could see the visit imploding on itself, so I didn't say anything. Where did it go? Well, both Mom and Dad were naturally very nervous about the whole thing, too. We could barely hold a conversation. Kazuya did his best to keep it going, but neither of them could get more than 2 words out, and I didn't know what to say either. So then what? Right when I was thinking I should leave, Kazuya asked me about you. Me? Yeah, I didn't have any problem talking about that subject. The words just kept coming. When I paused to take a breath, I noticed Kazuya wincing. He told me I'd definitely said enough. Excuse me? How much did you tell them? And about what? And just regular stuff. You know, about how much I love you, and all the ways you're amazing, and how lucky I am. That's it. That's not regular stuff! Oh, I can't believe this. I'm sure what you told them was all biased and ridiculously exaggerated. How am I supposed to live up to their expectations? Hey, I didn't exaggerate a thing. I didn't say anything that wasn't the truth. It's only the truth to you, trust me. Sorry. Anyway, the details of what I said aside, the whole conversation was a bit emotional for me. My parents have always intimidated me. Before I could barely look them in the face. But now, just the thought of you was enough to get me to relax. Heck, I babbled on so much about you that Kazuya had to stop me. That's never happened before. Ichiya... I'll admit I was skeptical at first, us getting engaged, hearing everything from Kazuya. It seemed like things were going too well. But part of me wants to believe in what we have, that things can really be this amazing. Yeah. You have no idea what a relief it was when you... Oh, yeah. You have no idea what a relief it was when you supported me that time. Besides, when I thought about it after, there really isn't anything I fear more than losing you. Once I realized that, dealing with Kazuya and my parents became much less scary. It might be awkward, but I can handle awkward. Spacey, And just having you in my life makes me stronger in so many ways. And most of all, being with you makes me feel like the happiest man in the world. Every time I hug you, I just want to hold you tighter. So tightly that I'd never have to let you go. Until you hug me so tight I choke to death and die. Look at we're both blushing, it's adorable. Spacey? Just give me a moment, okay? I'll calm down in a minute. Huh? Don't you remember what I said this morning? Your flirting used to not affect me because I didn't know you. But now, with what we are to each other... Your heart skipped a beat? You didn't do it on purpose, did you? I'd never try and charm you with empty flattery. I meant every word. You know that, right? But honestly, I hope it resonated with you at least a little. I wanted to make sure I expressed how much I feel for you, especially tonight. Oh? Why tonight? Well, I have some reasons. But do you mind if we wait until the dessert course before I tell you? Oh, sure. Thanks. Speaking of, I'll let them know they can bring it out now. I requested they make us something a little special for us. It's a cake with a ring on it. I mean, we're technically engaged, so... Excuse me, could I ask you to bring it out? Something special? Like what? You'll see. Is it a cake where all my other boyfriends jump out of it? Because, like, I'm into that. Aw, you tease. I mean, it's gonna be like 2 seconds. Oh, thank you. I'll serve it if you don't mind. Ichia? Now then, if I could ask you to close your eyes, my princess. You're being awfully thorough, but all right, if you insist. I'm very curious about this dessert. I hope it lives up to your expectations. We're definitely getting a CG of this, I think. Well, we've already gotten 2 and 3? We only get 3 because the wedding one is the last one, huh? There, you can open your eyes now. We got the movie theater, and I thought we got one before that. Okay, was the movie theater the first one? Oh, how pretty! Wait a minute. What? Ichia, this is... That's... Stop it! That's fucking adorable! That shouldn't count as a CG, though. You know what I mean? Is this what I think it is? It's so funny because we're technically engaged, but, like, now we're actually getting engaged. It's really weird. Like, theoretically we're engaged, but we're also not. Like, we're engaged now, but then it's like, but here's the engagement. It's just, it's a really weird thing, because I guess it's almost like, it's not a temporary fiance. Like, we picked Ichi as the temporary fiance, but then it's like, okay, yep, this is her fiance, they're gonna get married. Uh-huh. But then it's still like, he still has to ask you at some point later on, even though it's like, almost like a business arrangement. It's really bizarre. I mean, I guess that's nice, because if you think about it, like, if you're gonna get engaged, depending, everybody's different. Did he make that box out of, I bet that box made out of chocolate. That's an edible fucking box right there. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, some people talk about it, and you're like, yeah, we should get married. Okay, and sometimes it's a surprise or whatever, right? So, you always just think that business arrangement, oh yeah, it's okay, we're engaged, okay, great. And they're like, okay, sure, is there, and there's, like, nothing fun or surprising about it, the way you typically think of engagements, like the quintessential, like, stereotypical engagement, like, I'm gonna take you to do something romantic and then get down on one knee with a box, and then, like, you know what I mean? Like you see in all the movies, right? But I guess in this case, it's like well, you know, it's like a business, so yeah, you're getting married, cool. And then later, he still has to do the quintessential fucking stereotypical engagement just to make you feel better about it. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it is kind of odd, because you're like, we're already engaged, but I mean, I guess it would be too, like, okay, you and your partner are like, we should get engaged. Yeah, we'll get married. Cool. All right. Yeah. And eventually, okay. Yeah. And then you talk about it logically. What kind of ring do you want? Blah, blah, blah. You kind of think of these things like, please, whatever you do not show up at a fucking event in a dog costume and ask me to step on you and then propose to me. Like the Nayuta fucking, I mean, maybe you're into that, but you know what I mean? You're like, don't do it in public or whatever. But then it's like, but then otherwise surprise me. You know? I like this kind of cut of diamond. Or, you know what, I don't want a diamond. I would rather have this or this. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about those things, so you set the ground rules, and then you're like, and then you just surprise me on when. You know what I mean? And then here you go. This is the surprise on when. So, I guess. Is this what I think it is? I mean, it's a ring. Is it really that kind of ring? I mean, it does say, will you marry me in fucking chocolate. If you want to say it's too cliche or pretentious, that's fine. I'll graciously accept the critique. No, this is adorable, actually, because it's like, he put thought and make a special dessert for us, and then put that, and then it's beautiful. But this is the one chance I'll ever have to seriously propose to the person of my dreams. Let me go all out, okay? Or there's that. Everyone else is like, oh yeah, we're engaged. Phew, I don't have to deal with it. Nietzsche is like, but that's part of what I love to do, is be dramatic and romantic. So of course he's still, I mean, that makes more sense. Okay. Everyone else is like, cool. Nayuta's like, cool, I didn't have to think of anything. And Shion's like, that saves me trouble. Taiga's like, whatever, I wouldn't know what to fucking do. And then Ichigo's over here crying. He probably cried a little. He's like, but I've been preparing for this my whole life. I was planning every girl I go out with, every woman I see, I just plan how I would propose to her and what she would look like in her dress. I picked the dress out for her, obviously. Shion would actually be the one picking out your dress for you. But, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Ichi is the one that's planned all of this in his head since he was a child, you know? Well, since he realized that he could just woo women, you know? So yeah, he would do this even if he didn't have to. Everyone else is probably relieved they didn't have to. They're like, alright. Cool, because that's nerve-wracking. And Ichi is like, no, I will do this. And I will ask as if she's going to say no. I know she's going to say yes because we're already engaged, but like, what if she says no? Ichi, it's fine. Seriously, calm down. This can't be real. Oh, but it is. I mean, everything written on there from the bottom of my heart. It says, will you marry me? You didn't write a screenplay. Spacey, will you marry me? But, we're already engaged. Okay. Alright, yeah. I know, but I haven't given you a ring yet, and the formalities of the engagement flew by the morning after my confession on the cliff. After that, things have just gone along like usual. Personally, I thought it'd be a shame to skip over such a big life event. Okay, okay, this makes 100% more sense than, like, are they gonna have to all propose later? No, this is just Ichigo being like, whoa! You're not taking that from me! I wanted to make sure I could do it properly for you, even if it was a tad late. Spacey, wait. Please just slow down. I need a moment to collect myself. It's all so sudden. You took me by surprise, and I'm not sure I've wrapped my mind around it yet. I love you. Ichigo! I love you more than anyone in the world. Just wait, please, slow down! No, I won't wait. I can't. I want to hear your answer right now. Now? Yes, now. Because my heart feels like it's ready to burst out of my chest. I know what you're going to say. I have faith in it. I mean, again, we're already contractually obligated for this, so he knows what we're going to say, but yet he's still nervous about it. That's the fun part. But on the off chance, the 1 in a million billion chance you don't say yes, then Yes! Huh? What else could I possibly say? How could you even think otherwise? Oh, right? Ugh. If you're gonna make yourself look cool for this, at least see it through to the end. Seriously? Sorry. Enough already. Here. What? The ring. You're gonna put it on me, right? Oh, of course. Okay, but like... Oh my god, he's crying! Thank you, God! That is the best bug! They tied that shit up in a bow! They were like, oh yeah, you like it when he cried. Look, he's putting a ring on your finger and crying. That's the fucking best. Stop it! They knew what they were doing, and I love it. Oh, sons of bitches. I love you. I love you with every fiber of my being, and no matter what happens, no matter what comes our way. I swear I'll make you the happiest woman in the world. And you said you wouldn't cry around me.
Movies can't make me cry, but thinking of you will always make me tear up. So please, I'm asking you, stay by my side for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
He's like falling, I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Spacey.
Only you could propose like this, Ichia. I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I love you too. Okay, but like, everyone else we got like a wedding CG. Are we getting a wedding CG with it? We have to, you know?
I didn't quite stick the landing with the proposal, but I heard what I wanted to hear the most. It made me feel like the luckiest man in the universe. And I know it will get even better. I already feel happy enough to burst, but it will still be a surprise to find out how much happier I can get. I'm sure as we spend the rest of our lives together, that I'll break my record for happiest I've ever felt over and over again. In the morning, I'll give you a wake-up kiss, and a kiss before we go off to work. You'll get another kiss when we get home, and of course, we can't forget about the goodnight kiss, too. I won't stop there either. I'll never feel like I've told you I love you enough, and I get the urge to kiss you every time we look at each other. Even if you scold me, even if you tell me I'm being too cheesy or too clingy, I know that you'll follow that up with a smile and a sigh, saying you wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, exactly.
With you by my side, I can go on living. In sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, no matter how we end up, you'll always be the only one for me.
Thank you, but don't think you're the only one who feels that way.
Huh?
You are the only one for me.
No! He's gonna cry again! Stop it! I love it! We haven't even gotten to the wedding yet, and I already feel like I could die of happiness. I did wonder at the playful smile on your face as you watched tears streaming down mine, but you know what? I don't care anymore. We're going to walk into the future together, hand in hand. And just the two of us, together forever.
I love this goddamn cheese ball. The fact that he cries about... Oh, God. I love the fact that they were just like, let's make him cry. You did. You gave us a gift. Oh. Nope, we're not done yet. That would have been the perfect way to end that. Oh, here we go. Oh, our dress is kind of terrible. Like, kind of fucking terrible. Happily Ever After starts here. That is, like, an awful lot of fucking, like, roses on that damn dress. That's a bit much. But, like, Ichi is beautiful. And I like the way we're looking at him. I'm just saying it's a lot. We've got a Whis message. Did we always get a Whis message after all of them? Did we always get a Whis message here? I don't remember that. Huh.
And sorry to bug you so late. You're probably asleep by now, but...
Oh, I think we did after Tygus, which is really weird. I don't remember that, and I just played it the other day.
And today was the best day of my life. Thank you.
That's my line. It was a shock, but it was a happy surprise. Thanks.
How's the ring? Does it fit?
It's a little big. It's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. You know my ring size.
You bet. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. I didn't want to mess it up.
I would never tell him it's too big. Stop it. That sounds really inappropriate when you say it like that. I meant the ring. Like, shh. It's perfect, Ichia. You're perfect.
I figured that was about what it was. But I checked with Kasuga at the end just to be certain.
Really? Thanks. Wait, how does Kasuga know my ring size? He snuck into her fucking bedroom and, like, rolled across the floor. Got a fucking tape measure out. He would.
You're welcome, and thanks for accepting it. Although I did have to go and screw up by bawling at the critical moment.
No, that was perfect. That's what made the affair... that's what made the affair a smashing success. I know, right? That made it so much better. See, she's as fucking degenerate as us.
Spacey, I'm not sure how happy I am about that.
It's okay. It made me happy. All of it. I mean it.
Oh, well, if you're happy, then I'm happy. I was such a nervous wreck about it all last night.
Wait, is that why you... walked smack into a wall when we left? And why you tripped over nothing while we were on our date?
I tried to be suave and all I did was look like an idiot again.
But it was cute.
A 26-year-old man doesn't really want to hear he's cute.
It's one of the many things I love about you.
Are you messing with me again?
A little?
Spacey.
Good night. See you tomorrow. I love that Ichigo cries and we fuck with him a lot. Oh god, it's so good. Well, there you go. Toggle to, okay. Us bawling at them, sweat, like, oh god, it's getting intense. Why is he not crying? And he's like, this is a bit much. He's like, here, I'll dry your eyes. That's sweet. And then the fucking... the fucking... What? Oh god, I forgot how much we love it when Ichigo cries. Oh god, I love that they fucking just went full in on that. That was great. I mean, like, we just got a lot. There's roses on her ass. There's a fuck ton in her hair. There's a ton on the sleeves. It's just a lot. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's not that it's not pretty. It's kind of pretty, but it's still like, well, that was just my first. It's a little intense. But, like, look at goddamn Ichigo. It's beautiful. So anyway, that was Ichigo's after story. Yeah. And in the next part, we'll do the, well, Tsubame after story, Kasuga after story, whatever. I don't know now because, like, I feel like, well, Ichigo's obviously went the full time. I don't, like, Taiga's didn't, and I don't remember, obviously, Shion and Nayuta's, like, how long they went. But, yeah, so I don't know if, we'll have to see in the next part, like, if we do the after story, well, maybe we'll still do the full unlock, and that part will just be longer than most parts, because we also have to do the voice acting stuff, too, so... I mean, we'll see. It might just be a super long part, but whatevs. Otherwise, because I'm not sure with the full unlock, like, what does that unlock? Is it just adds some CGs? Like, does it add anything else? You know what I mean? Like, what's in that secret little thing? It could just be one or two things where you're like, oh, it took 2 seconds, and I don't want to do a whole part for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so. Anyway. Yeah, that was... This was this, and that's what we'll do the next part. So we have basically, that's probably gonna be the last part, the next one. So, yeah, it's been a ride. And I'm actually surprised it ended this soon, because I didn't think the true ending would go so fast, because, like, every other one took, like, 14 fucking hours to get through. I'm not complaining, but it's like, shit. When you're playing 2 games at the same time that both have extremely long routes, it's like, oh, fuck. It's kind of hard, you know what I mean? And I'm just extremely behind right now, so like... but we will start a whole new game soon. Ooh, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Not till next time. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.